Look how far we've come, all the things we've done. Did it all with love, beauty from the bottom up. All I want is you, you're my favorite view. But there's nothing more, girl, you make my heart beat.
And we are back.
Welcome back, Bumble bitches.
Today is October 21st. We have 9 days until the world does its thing with the Atlas comet and the weird solar flare things.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, last night I meant to sit on the couch and do some research about like how to prepare myself for it. I don't know. Do I need to sit out there with a tinfoil hat or something?
We'll make you an antenna. Like one of the old TV antennas that's got the things across it.
Yeah.
Put some chicken wire on it.
Right. Like get me prepared to receive the signals.
That's funny.
And
that's so funny.
We ended up watching the Da Vinci Code.
We did. Oh, yeah. It took us 5 days.
It's insane how long that movie is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it insane that you fell asleep every 15, 20 minutes and we had to keep, restarting?
We didn't, not restarting, like starting over.
Yeah,
but we would have to go back like 20 minutes. Very good movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. We have a whole lot of new people in here. Am I tripping, or did you have an orange shirt on earlier on? I am wearing an orange shirt.
It is orange. What are you seeing?
It's orange.
Right. I see orange.
There's a whole lot of new people in here since the last Patreon, or since we logged out of YouTube or TikTok and went here. We got like 7 patrons.
Oh, I love that.
Me too. So
yes, with Tom Hanks.
Great movie. Great movie. She's never seen any of those. There's 3 of them.
No.
Yeah.
Started the second one last night.
15 minutes in. Like clockwork.
Do you hate it? Does it bother you?
When we're trying to watch movies, it does.
But it was also 10 o'clock at night.
I know. Well, see,
it was so late.
I know. And this is one of those things that like I'll get into a movie and you'll fall asleep and I'll have to turn it off. And I'll have to find something else to watch because you'll be into it. That sucks. But we also don't sleep the same schedules. Like I woke up this morning at 5. I probably will be up until 11 or 12 o'clock tonight. Like I don't sleep like that. So it's just one of those things. It happens. So what are we doing? Do we want to, let's do a thank you email first and then we'll problem solve.
Oh, my pen's gone.
Is it gone or did it fall?
It's not it's not here. So It's gone.
Okay. Before we jump into that, I want to touch on a couple things. Yesterday we talked about wanting new chairs because I have 2 blown discs, sciatic problems, the whole 9. And last night we found these chairs that are massage chairs that have massage rollers in them that also recline and swivel, that are not giant. They're very modern looking. And after, 45 minutes of research and then some quick discussions, we went ahead and ordered them. So we're in the process now of doing a new revamp of this room. So we should have a new thing here pretty soon. You know what else we should do? While Taylor is here, maybe you guys should sit down and do an episode. Do like some girl talk about Costa Rica and Thailand and traveling and what it's meant to her to be a part of the tribe. And like, because she's literally coming to stay with us.
Yeah.
It would be nothing.
We met her in Thailand.
Right. Yeah. Fucking live on our property for a little while.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to do some interactions. She'd be able to sell her mala beads. Yeah. Promote her little business. You know what I mean?
To do that. Yeah. It'll have to be after one of the kids go to bed. Yeah. After the kids go to bed.
I just keep them entertained out there. I won't be on it. So I am excited about redoing the room. The only thing I have to figure out now is these end tables. I don't want to rebuy them because they hold everything, but I definitely want to reorganize them. And I also think that we should get shelves that go along the walls this way.
Okay.
So that we can expand our stuff.
You understand that it's going to look just as cluttered on my side.
It'll look way more cluttered on your side.
Okay.
But when we do this angle,
I just wanted you to prepare for it. I know you had that conversation. It looks messy, so it's going to look a lot more messy if you give me more space.
Right, but see how that looks right now?
Yeah.
I feel like if we, I don't know, maybe we shouldn't. I just was thinking that like I've got all this dead space. This dead space works really well because if I'm doing text, I always try to put the text in this box behind
smart,
me.
Yeah.
So that you've got a black background with white text. And if I do the shelves, I'm not going to be able to keep that. So I probably won't do that. But I definitely want to do something with this. And something's in the shot. So I would like to do something different. We're going to have new chairs. And I think that when we get the new chairs, all of this is going to look different.
Yes.
Definitely want a third angle camera to go there so that we're not doing the split screen thing. Probably get like a 24 or 16 millimeter lens and push all this shit back. Change the angle of that light bar so that it's more over us and not on us. And get all of this going.
All right. Married at 18. How to last. More info and updates.
Is this a thank you?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't realize how many gaps were in my previous email, so I want to fill in what I can. I ran away at 17. My parents had become increasingly controlling. My family was deeply religious and, along with that, emotionally manipulative. I reached a point where I felt like I couldn't take it anymore. It felt like the only way to discover who I was, not just the version of me they projected, was to leave. Looking back now, I can see they were probably just being overbearing, but at the time, I felt completely trapped. There were a lot of painful experiences in my childhood, and I couldn't separate their love from the constant fighting or lack of autonomy. I hadn't done anything to earn their distrust. I didn't party, drink, or sneak out. All my friends were pre-approved, and we lived in a small, isolated town.
I have to pause. I'm curious if she still feels that way or they still feel that way. The other thing is you can't say that you've not done something to break the trust of somebody else. That's not on you to decide.
Right.
The way that somebody views your actions or the things that you have said is their perspective. You have to accept that something along those lines have made them view you in that light. There's nothing you can do about it other than asking them what it was and then trying to correct that behavior.
It could also be that they just still viewed you as a child.
Yeah, very well could be.
Who was fucking up and making mistakes, and they had to... A lot of parents get stuck in the... My children are defenseless and need me and everything.
Yeah.
And at 16, 17, 18 years old, that does become very suffocating because you're ready to bust out of the cocoon and discover your own life.
Right.
And that's also I'm not saying this is for the emailers' parents. This is for a broader understanding for the listeners. There is also a very real fear that starts to kick in if your parents aren't pieces of shit.
Right.
That my life is about to change. And there's a grieving, right? There's a grieving process that's happening, and part of the grieving process is denial. And there's going to be a denial that you are growing up, that you are becoming independent, and that you are leaving the nest. And that can come out in very nasty ways. It doesn't excuse it. It does not justify it. It can help you deeper understand what the parents are going through in those kind of suffocating moments.
Right.
Still, they tried to have me sign contracts about where I could and couldn't drive the car I had bought with my own money.
Well, that's fucked up.
That is fucked up. So, all children deserve parents. Not all parents deserve children.
I agree with that. I fucking agree with that.
And I say that because that sentence, that is an overbreach of control and, like she said, autonomy. Living in my household, there will be rules and restrictions. You're not coming in the house at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, so this is a matter of perspective.
Right.
Like saying that you won't drive your car after 9 p.m. because I expect you to be home by no later than 10.
Oh yeah, that could be the contract.
Right. There's we don't know. We
That's
do know
true.
that she's still a minor. And I know that at 16 and 17 years old, whether you bought the car with your own money or not, you live in my house. There's rules to the house.
The house has rules. The
Right.
car doesn't.
Right. There's still rules.
Right.
I catch you drinking and driving.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I'll wreck that motherfucker. Like I will take your tires off that shit while you're sleeping and it'll be sitting on jacks until I decide to give you your tires back.
Yeah.
Right. There's a responsibility as an adult as the parent that I have to make sure that you're being a good human being. And you know, people can get mad about that all they want to. I bet they're not paying their own insurance at that age. Insurance for a fucking kid is expensive.
Yeah. My mind, when I heard signing contracts about restrictions for the car, it didn't say restrictions, just sign contracts about where I could and couldn't drive the car. That's what my mind went to.
Well, so
Like, you're not allowed to drive it to the mall.
right. Specifically, because it says restrictions on where she can or
Right.
cannot drive.
So
Assuming it's a woman.
That's a problem. But I agree with everything that you laid out about your parents still.
Yeah.
And there is a level of revoking that will happen.
There also needs to be a freedom to fuck up.
Yes, I agree with that.
So, okay, we're going to get down a fucking parenting conversation, apparently. Sorry about all the F-bombs. Your kids need to do really dangerous things in a controlled environment so that they can get kind of hurt, not really hurt, right? They need to FAFO. And life experiences is what's going to make them make better decisions in the future. Pain and embarrassment are the greatest teachers you can get, because you'll never forget being embarrassed in front of somebody, right? And pain sucks. So there needs to be a level of your kid needs to mess up. They need to experience the consequences of their actions as they're coming into adulthood. Because when you become an adult, there is no parents got your back anymore. They can have your back, but unless they're paying your lawyer fees or your hospital bills, like real consequences can get you. So there needs to be, as a parent, you need to allow your kid room to make mistakes. You give them enough rope to hang themselves, so to speak. And then you cut the rope down and you console them and you parent them, not punish them.
Right.
Yeah.
Continuing.
Yep.
That was the breaking point. Around that time, I met my now husband. It was a combination of things: falling in love for the first time, the isolation of COVID, which moved school online. I don't know why I just said it that way. School.
Going to school.
Online, I graduated a year early, and a deep desire to finally be free of constant judgment from my family and church. I ended up quarantining with my boyfriend, got pregnant at 17, and moved back in with my parents.
Rough.
Fuck.
Rough.
Yeah. Peaches, what is one of your biggest fears in life? My child coming home pregnant. That, like, really, before her life is established, or our son coming home, before they are established adults and have their wits about them and can provide for a child, and having to do all of that all over again. Because now I'm sacrificing more of my time to tend to another life.
That's a choice.
Right. It is a choice. There is a...
So you're right now already speaking into existence that if that happened, you would step into that role.
What do you mean? Well, no, I know what you mean. But why are you saying that's the thing I'm speaking into existence?
Because you just said that if that happened, that's what you would have to do. And that's not what you would have to do.
I would be sacrificing my time, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not giving up my retirement. I've already done that once.
Yeah. I'm also not going to be abandoning.
There's a whole lot of life lessons that are going to be had before we get to that point. And if they make those decisions at that point, they will live with those decisions. I'm not going to raise another child from infancy. Like this is going to be one of those things that will truly test us in like our relationship and everything, because I know who you are and how you'll be. This is going to make sure we are going to have to make sure that we are very on top of the understanding of what life looks like when that happens and the results, the consequences of their actions. And like there needs to be real sex ed discussions, and there needs to be...
I'm compiling binders for the children.
Yeah. There needs to be financial documents to explain how expensive it is to actually have a child and what that would look like and how that could fucking destroy your future. How are you going to go to college? How are you going to learn a trade? How are you going to do these things if you have to take care of another human being? How are you going to go hang out with your friends? Where are your friends going to be? Because they will abandon you. Like there's a whole lot that needs to be discussed before we ever get to the point of that being a thing.
Yeah.
So
I do also view that as failure on the parents.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I actually think it's more of a failure on the parents than on the kids. Kids are going to do really stupid shit.
They are.
Because we think what's the worst that can happen? Or it's not going to happen to us until it does. Or we see people who have done the stupid shit that did okay doing the stupid shit, not realizing that that's not our life.
Right.
Yeah.
Continuing.
Joe.
He moved to another town to live with his dad and work because we were broke. Living with my parents again reminded me exactly why I left. Even though I was young and naive, I was determined to live authentically and give my child a better life. My parents were convinced something was wrong with me. At one point, I saw things in my mom's prayer journal and search history that made it clear they thought I was spiritually compromised.
Wow.
Why were you in your mom's prayer journal?
It's actually a really good question, you nosy bitch.
Right? Like,
that's funny. That's a good question. I didn't even think about that. That's funny. I got stuck on the being spiritually compromised. What makes you think that your spiritual beliefs or your faith alignments apply to me?
that's a really good question. And a lot of people live that way.
I know they do. It's why there's so much ugly in the world.
Yeah. Continuing, still, I loved my boyfriend and wanted us to be a real family. So after my first trimester, I moved in with him and his dad. I think that's one of the best moves that you've made. Leaving that household during the first trimester. The first trimester is very scary. That's when, Like if there's going to be a loss, that's when it'll happen. Of course, there are I have my point, and then there's things over here. What are these things?
Circumstances?
The extenuating circumstances where emergencies happen, whatever the case may be. If you have not read the book, It Didn't Start With You by Mark, it starts with a W, Mark W. You should. That goes really in depth of how generational trauma is not just a wives' tale or a folklore. It is something that affects our nervous systems in utero during pregnancy, being carried by our mothers, being affected by things happening outside of the body. I think you did your child, your unborn child, and you a very good service by moving out and moving in with your boyfriend.
I might have to address the chat real quick.
Okay.
Before we move on, before I address the chat, I need you guys to understand that if you are not a member of the Patreon and our Discord, you miss out on a lot. And I'm not, this isn't a FOMO thing. This isn't me trying to get you guys to be afraid of what you could potentially miss. This is me telling you that you are in fact missing out on a lot of shit. There's a lot of chat that's happening in the comments that are going in, and while we're recording. Sometimes we cut a lot of things out of the episode. Sometimes we record for 3 hours and you guys get an hour and 15 minutes of it.
Yeah.
So if you're not a member of the Patreon, I highly recommend you go to tobebetter.com/join and look at the tiers. At the $15 tier, you get the tribe. The tribe is everything that, like, the base of what we do.
Continuing.
Yep.
Things changed again when his dad moved to Texas and left us the house he'd been renting. We were still incredibly young and unprepared. Eventually, we realized we couldn't sustain ourselves financially and didn't have a support system there. We moved back to my parents' garage apartment they had just built, which they let us rent. The week we moved in, we got legally married and built the baby's crib.
How would you feel about that?
What?
I'm sorry. This is a fucking thank you email.
Right.
And I'm over here problem solving. We have a standalone 1,000 square foot building on our property.
We do.
That's a pretty big price. Bigger than most apartments. Real shit. Like,
it's a studio apartment out there.
It's bigger than that.
Yeah.
Your first apartment was only like 12, or not first, but the one that you were living in was a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom.
Yeah.
With a kitchen, living room, patio. That was only 1,200 square feet.
Yeah.
So that's only 200 square feet bigger than what you had. Turning that into, like, putting a bathroom and an actual kitchen out there would not be hard.
Right.
And it would cost us less than 10 grand. You know what I mean? We have enough people that do framing, carpentry, whatever. Nikita could build that out in a weekend.
Right.
To do the plumbing would be the hardest part, but we have plumbing out there. So even that wouldn't be that difficult. If we decided to do that, this is the point. Man. If we decided to turn that into an in-law suite for people to come and visit, like Taylor's doing, and they wanted to move in there and one of them wanted to rent that from us, how would you feel about that? Would you charge them rent? Because I think that's a fair thing to do.
I would charge them rent. I have also actually thought about, once they start getting 14, 15, 16 years old, doing that.
Charging them rent?
Well, if we build like a tiny shed or something out there and they have access to the kitchen and can do their laundry in here, but they can have their own separate space outside of the house.
Turn their garage into a room too.
Right, we could do that.
As his own door.
Plus, by that point, they're going to be homeschooled.
Oh, yeah.
And by the time they're 16 years old and you can drive, I want you working.
Absolutely.
Right? So I think $150 a month for a room is not unreasonable.
I would want more than that.
Right. Okay. But I also don't want to charge them to where they can't enjoy their money. I want them to understand budgeting in the controlled environment, like you said, but not to a point where they can't enjoy their money.
I want them to be broke.
Okay.
I want to talk to you
Right.
about
I know.
it.
I was going somewhere.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were at $150. You want them to enjoy their money. I'm listening. I just want to have a discussion about it. Go ahead.
Once they are truly on their own and they are not on our property anymore and they have to pay rent to a landlord and say they decide that they want to not do this and want to do a different type of career path and work for somebody else, their lives are going to be very, very restricted. And I want them to have responsibilities here. I want them to have to pay bills here and contribute financially. And I also want them to get a taste of what it's like to enjoy their money when they make it. So I want them to be able to have enough money to put into a savings or have enough money to plan a hollow scream night with their friends in October, to enjoy that money before life dicks them down and they recognize that they had it good here.
Right. Okay. So we agree on a lot. We just don't agree on the premise. I want them to be broke for a little while. I think that everybody needs to experience that not having money to do shit. And I don't mean like being broke and still being able to watch Netflix and eat family dinners and have turkey and Thanksgiving and like all that shit. I mean like be broken and like you don't have money, you're eating ramen. Like, cause that's what you can afford to eat. I think people need to live like that for a little while because it teaches you that you can do a lot with a little with your money. And that really sets people up for success. I also don't want them working for other people. I would love for the kids to grow up to be entrepreneurs. Whether or not they do that is a whole different discussion.
Right.
This may not even be a whole podcast, guys. We may not even get to the actual emails.
Yeah.
But this is a very real thing. The idea of if it would be nothing for us to set up a tiny home on the property here. We have enough land that it would be doable. And like one could live in the man cave, one could live in a tiny home, and they could fucking stay on the property for the rest of their life. I don't care because they would have their own space. I would want them to pay enough rent. Like, let's say they make $2,000 a month. I would want at least half of that going to all of the bills. So if they're making $1,000 every other week, I want one of their paychecks, they get the other. And that paycheck, that $1,000 is going to cover their rent. It'll cover their cell phone, the electric, the cable, whatever. It's not covering a car payment. It's not covering insurance, and it's not covering their food. So they'll have to pay for that, and then whatever's left, they can budget. That $1,000 every other week, so it'll be $1,000 a month. That's $12,000 a year. If they stayed here for 5 years, that's $60,000. At the end of 5 years, if they've saved enough money and decide they wanted to move out, we can take that $1,000 that they have given us every single month and go, here's a $60,000 down payment for your house. We've been saving everything that you've given us. It's gone in the safe. Here's 60 racks in cash. Go put it in the bank, whatever. Or maybe we can even open a savings account in their name so that way it doesn't look like we're embezzling money or whatever. Even put them on payroll, right? So that it's a payroll tax, whatever. That way they're paying their Social Security. I don't care how we work that out.
Right.
But they'll have a huge leg up moving forward into buying a home for themselves or land or whatever it is that they decide to do. The reality is I would rather them be here on the land. I would rather, if we had, we're looking at land next year. If we buy land in Alabama and we end up with 20 or 50 acres or whatever we do, I would love for them to never leave the property because it creates that community that we want. And if we want to travel, we can. If we want them to go, we can. If there's grandbabies, we got fucking grandbabies on the property and tiny fainting goats or whatever the fuck we want to do. And it'll be what a family is supposed to be. But I would still want them paying rent, and I would still want that going into a savings account that they can't touch. And then if they live with us their entire lives on the property, when they're 50 years old and they've been paying $1,000 a month or half of their monthly income their entire life,
I'm about to get a big payout.
here's your retirement at 50, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
It's just we're so far away from that we haven't really had to have these discussions yet. But that was a good talk.
I want to set up a Roth IRA for them too.
I know you do. I actually I have to talk to Justin. I need one more year.
Okay.
Because I have that one thing that I'm paying on monthly, and when that one thing is gone, and that extra money is there, things are going to look very different. I want to set up a simple Roth IRA for us that the business pays for so that we can continue to put our money into a Roth every month the way that it does. And Justin can set up a simple Roth where when we have really big months, I can go, hey, I have X amount of dollars extra. I need you to pull that from the simple or put it into the simple Roth IRA. And if we put the kids on payroll as advisors, because and I've looked into this already. The moment you were like, I want to do these things, I started trying to figure out our money.
Okay.
If we put them on the board of advisors, all of the travel that we do with them is covered. It's all the write-off because you can do quarterly advisory board meetings and you can do them anywhere in the world. Okay. And the entire thing is paid for. So we could do quarterly family vacations and the S Corp pays for all of it and it's a write-off. So I want to do that, put them on the board of advisors. As a board of advisors, we can use the distribution of profits that we make as a payment for them would also go into a simple Roth IRA. That we can put $17,000 a year into instead of the $6,400 a year that goes into our Roths. So in a year, we'll have a whole lot more that we can move around and do with, and it'll change the way the retirement plans look. Okay. I also don't want to pay into their Roth the entire life. I want to start it, pay into it until they're like 25 years old and just let that money do what it's supposed to do because at that point we won't have to pay for it anymore. Right. Or they get $1,000 a month paycheck that covers
Put it into that.
Right.
Okay, we're going to keep reading.
Yep.
The week we moved in, got legally married, and built the baby's crib, I had a stillbirth. Everything spiraled from there. Oh, God. The religious fanatic mother is going to run with that.
Oh, I'm sure.
My husband couldn't hold a job and started using drugs. In the middle of our grief, denial, and naivete, I got pregnant again. That's when I discovered the drug use. He went through a cycle of sobriety and relapsed for a year. 2 months before our son was born, his teenage stepbrother died in a motorcycle accident. His stepfather took it out on my husband, attacking him during a visit, and my husband fought back. Since it was his stepdad's property, he was arrested. My dad actually paid his bail. So they're not all bad. Parents have flaws, but when nobody else was there for you guys, your dad bailed your husband out of jail.
He showed up.
Your drug addicted, relapsing husband. I hope you told them thank you.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
Just 2 things more from the chat.
Continuing.
Yep.
That moment caused a small shift. We started spending more time with my family, although the relationship remained complicated. I had our son in February. The first year was hard. My husband was on probation, dealing with mental health and addiction, mostly weed and alcohol, and getting counseling. He stayed off of hard drugs, found steadier work, and slowly repaired things with my family. Okay, so you included your own drug use, but you didn't talk about it at all. And I'm only bringing it up because you're touching on his drug use a lot. So did you use while you were pregnant? Was your son born with any defects? What did that look like?
Well, the son was stillborn.
No, this is a second pregnancy.
Oh, I missed it. I'm sorry. I'm so caught up in our other conversation.
Right. Then that's also why I was hung up, because you had a stillbirth, became pregnant again, which is a blessing, and then started using drugs. So if there's not going to be an elaboration on something, please don't include it in the email, guys. I am going to probe for that further information. Continuing. By the time our son was about 10 months old, things started looking up. We moved to a different state to start fresh and created a better environment.
Good.
I planned to go back to school and work part-time. He got a good job landscaping, and we rented a house with a big yard for the kids, and we finally started saving. Then we found out I was pregnant again, despite having an IUD, which threw us for a loop. As the year went on, my husband began struggling again. The weed use came back, and so did the lying. It was heartbreaking because I had finally seen what life could be like when things were good. A month before our daughter was born, I moved out and got my own apartment. He did make real efforts, got his GED, enrolled in school, and genuinely tried to earn back trust, but the secrecy continued with the cigarettes. That's around the time I last emailed. Since then, it's been about a year, and things have improved significantly. He's quit smoking, he completed his first year of school with excellent grades, and has been working incredibly hard. He made a few good friends, something he's never really had before. His boss has stepped in as a real mentor, someone who believes in him and sees his potential.
Good for him.
I love that.
Good for him, dude. We need that. Young men fucking need that so much.
Yes, they do.
And you know, the reality is a lot of young men aggravate the fuck out of us old heads. And like, we don't want to take you on as mentors because you're immature as fuck still, right? Like, there are people that I will bend over backwards for. And there are other people that I'm like, fuck, every time my phone goes off. There's a very different thing there. And the reality is the ones who were like, fuck, every time the phone goes off are the ones who truly need the mentorship.
Yeah.
The problem is they're not trying to hear it.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I agree on the flip coin. I think women also need mentors. We need more women.
Women-tors.
Right, women-tors. It's a role in my women's groups. It's a whole thing. We need more women who are further along on their healing journey, who may be elders or aunties or mamas, whatever you want to call them, who take younger women who are annoying and selfish and self-centered and attention-seeking and all of the things that we despise in women because we ourselves were once that and we shame and guilt ourselves for being that. We need it. All of that to say we need it. We need to be the women who step forward and care for those younger women who have been failed by their own mothers and the other women in their lives. And as young women, we need to accept that we don't know everything. Yeah. And we need to lean into the women who do care about us and are putting in that nurturing energy. Continuing. He's not only supported my husband's growth, but has offered him the opportunity to buy the business once he finishes school. It's been a huge turning point for him in terms of motivation, confidence, and purpose. We recently moved out of the apartment and into a bigger house with space for the kids. I've also gone back to school. Our communication has grown a lot. We feel more like true partners and better friends. There's much more mutual respect. There's still tension with my family. He avoids them, and honestly, I don't blame him. But that's no longer the center of our lives. I love that you guys got your shit together first and foremost. That's wonderful. I think every human being here is here for the purpose to have joy in life. And
Absolutely.
To experience the things around us and to even experience pain and sorrow and the hardships. Like you just said, 50 Cent said, can't enjoy joy unless you have that pain.
Joy wouldn't feel so good if it wasn't for pain. That's how
Right.
that lyric goes. That's such a fucking line, dude.
It really is. Like,
That's the polarity.
it is.
Right?
It's the polarity. And I'm glad that you guys did that for your children. You're doing things differently. And you should be proud of that. Life now is mostly school, work, and parenting. It's still exhausting, but we're not alone like we used to be. We have a stronger sense of who we are individually and as a couple. We still argue now and then, but there's no more secrets. He's working every day to grow into someone better than who he used to be, and I am too. Basically, we're just maturing. That's what my mind went to. Like nurturing, which is nice, and also have a better grasp in reality feels great too. I know our story isn't typical, and I wouldn't recommend others take our path the way we did. But despite everything, I'm grateful for where we are now, even if I understand just how rare this outcome is. Thank you for emailing in. Thank you for sharing that. That's the proof that you can hit rock bottom and come out higher than you ever imagined.
I think that everybody has to hit rock bottom.
I agree with that.
It's the amount of people that I know that are millionaires who have lost it all and made their millions back. Like it's more common than you think. Hitting rock bottom changes you as a person.
Like metamorphosis.
It is that. Yes. Let's get into a helpful email.
Okay. Nothing in life is stagnant.
It shouldn't be.
Nothing in life is a straight line, right? Everything is a wave. When you understand that life is going to have its highs and life is going to have its lows the same way you do with your moods or situations, the way you feel about your spouse, whatever, your children, you don't take it as hard. It's just another, it's hurricane season.
That's it.
Yeah.
We've had a really easy hurricane season this year.
We have not had a lot of rain.
And that's the problem. I was just about to say I knocked.
That's not real wood.
Fuck.
She told me. I heard it.
That's wood.
Nah?
Yeah, it's not plastic. That's wood. It's got a laminate on top of it, but it's probably MDF, which is sawdust. It counts. Either way, the intent was there, and I think the intent matters more than the superstition does.
I can go get my stick.
It don't matter.
Okay.
All of that just made me forget what the fuck I was talking about.
Hurricane season. It's not being too bad.
We haven't had any rain. Our fucking yard is dead out there.
Yeah, dead, which is very unusual for October.
I thought it was from whatever that
fertilizer.
Yeah. It's not. It's dead everywhere. And the side gardens, the cacao tree that's on the side of the yard is dead as fuck.
I saw that.
I've been watering, trying to bring him back. He ain't coming back. Old boy is zombified.
I think it's also a dormant season.
No, because the other one's doing good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Well, it's now a dragonfly perch.
It's a big stick. I'm not going to pull it up yet.
Big stick.
Yeah.
Patreon, I really hope I'm the problem so I can fix this. I'm hoping to get some insight on how my husband and I have been feeling. We have some reoccurring issues that never seem to get resolved, and when I try to get more information out of him, all I am met with is defensiveness. So, a little context, I am 29, my husband is 28, almost 29. Nah, you fucking cougar. Robbing the cradle, almost 29 my ass. I only said that because you slipped in the almost 29.
Yeah. I got it.
We have been together for 8 years, 2 kids, 3 and 5 months. We have had our own home for 3 years now, and our homestead where we raise our own food from chicken eggs to pork to lamb, meat, chickens, you name it. We also grow our own produce and have a small orchard. It looks like orchard.
Keep moving. Don't get hung up on it.
On just 2.5 acres.
On just 2.5 acres. We're on less than an acre and we got 42 fruit trees. I don't want to hear shit.
Right.
Could you imagine what we would do with 2.5 acres?
We would be...
That would be to the corner.
The shenanigans.
That would be to the corner and to the end of our property all the way around.
Yeah. All right. About him. Now, before I get into the issues we are having, I want to tell you about everything he does for our family. As of March 15th, 2025, he has been working 4.5 hours away and staying out of town during the week, Monday through Friday. It was a huge pay increase and temporary work before winter. Hard decision to make, but we made it together. He works 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and 7 to 3 on Saturdays, then drives home that evening and then leaves again Monday morning by 1:30 a.m. on about 1 to 2 hours of sleep. He does all of this so he can provide for us and still make it back to see us every week.
That's crazy.
Since the beginning has been my rock. With both kids being born, he was right by my side. I want to include, I haven't gotten into their issues yet.
Right.
Based on the sacrifices that you are making and knowing what you're missing out on, not just with me and our marriage, but our family and the children.
A lot of sacrifice.
A lot of sacrifice being made. I am still going to be going above and beyond to make you feel loved and appreciated. And you don't have to be doing any of that, especially knowing that there are issues happening,
right?
Not knowing what the issues are. With both kids being born, he was right by my side. Having our second was a bit complicated, and he took care of so much for a week or two postpartum while I was in the hospital. I couldn't ask for a better teammate to do life shit with. He is so dedicated, and I choose the right man to have children with. I chose the right man. He is the provider, the sole income earner, the protector, and the final decision maker in our household. I love this man with all of my heart. I can't even imagine how exhausted he is, and he still makes time to come and see us and do what I need help with on his one day at home.
This isn't a thank you email, right?
No.
Okay. Because as of right now, I can't. What? Like, this sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I tell him all the time how appreciative I am of him for what he does for our family. His efforts do not go unnoticed. His job out of town will end soon, and he is trying to start up his own business.
Good for him.
I made him business cards, signs, t-shirts, hats, and have even been putting the signs and cards up all over town.
Okay, slow down a little bit. Not you, them, the emailer. Your initial business startup should not be spent on all that gimmicky shit. Business cards are a must, and they need to be quality. So like you're buying t-shirts right now and all of that other shit that you're buying, signs and all of that. I would have taken the sign money and put it into the business card fund and made the business cards the most amazing business cards ever. You want your business, sorry, this is going to get business content.
Right. Before you run off, I would also put that into a good website. I would put a QR code on the business card and I'd have a very good website.
I wouldn't do the QR code.
No.
Too much on a business card, it becomes too much. People don't care. You want your business card to feel good in the hand and to be so impressive that whoever you give it to, it goes in their wallet and they don't give it to other people. So when they go, do you have a guy that does blah, blah, blah? They go, absolutely. Take a picture of the business card because I don't want to lose this. The more impressive your business card is, that is an N on so many levels. Website needs to be there for sure. That more important than signs. And then everything beyond that needs to go into marketing digitally. I don't even know what the business is.
Right.
But
unless you plan on giving away those t-shirts and shit for free.
Right. Well, that's advertising.
Yeah.
And that's a tax write-off because it's a giveaway for advertising dollars. It's a whole different conversation. But people want to do the business thing and they focus on the wrong things in the beginning and they cost themselves a lot of money.
I also want to touch on, you said that I tell him all the time how appreciative I am of him. Words only go so far. So if there is not a physical connection happening, men are visual creatures.
Yeah.
Men are also very feely creatures. I don't know why people think that men are just stone cold all the time. If you're not expressing appreciation through hugs and neck touches and you can't keep yourself off of him, that thank you is just, okay, she said thank you.
You know why that physical touch matters so much?
Tell me.
Because we don't get it. It's not okay to hug your homies. That's gay. Right? Like you have to, I love you, bro. No homo. Right? Like that's some fucked up logic, but that's the way that most men live their lives.
Right.
And unless we're hurt, emotionally devastated, or doing something phenomenal, we don't get physical touch unless it's sexual. So that intimacy that comes from physical touch, why most men, it's like 80% of men say that their number one love language is physical touch. That's why. Our kids don't hug us and love on us the way that they do moms. When you sit on the couch, you're a fucking jungle gym. When I sit on the couch, get the fuck out of my spot, right? Like it's a very different, that's the thing. And like, that is such a thing that I recognize within me that I make sure that I tell little man I love him several times a day. And I bully him and I high five him and like I check on him. I want him to know that It's okay to tell your best friends you love them.
Well, our daughter needs that too.
Yeah, I'm not connected to her like that though.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that she doesn't get it from me. She absolutely does. But it's on you to raise a young lady, and it's on me to show a young lady what she should be looking for in a man. So we have different roles in that aspect.
I agree.
Yeah.
Continuing, I set him up an email, Instagram, and Facebook account for said business.
Good.
And I'm really hoping this gets going for him. He needs a big break. This job has made so much happen in the past 5 months, and we are so much more out of debt now, plus actually having a savings. If he can have his own business going, then that would start setting up for our future even more. I am so excited for him and for us. About me, I'm a stay-at-home mom taking care of our 2 children who is exclusively breastfed, one who is exclusively breastfed, and our homestead with 42 animals all by myself while he is away 6 out of the 7 days a week. Now, I said this before we came to this decision together of him working away from home, so I knew what I was getting into, but that doesn't make it any easier. On a typical day, me and the kids wake up around 7:30, breakfast at 8, feed animals at 8:30, do outside chores for an hour or 2, come in for lunch, playtime with my kids for half an hour, do cleaning/prep for dinner, work out, back outside for more chores, inside for dinner, play outside time, feed the animals again by 6 p.m., get ready for bed. 3-year-old is down by 8:30, 5-month-old is asleep by 9, sometimes 9:30. Then I clean the house from the day and maybe find time to read. Bed by 12 if I'm lucky. I am absolutely worn out from trying to be a homemaker plus working on our property all day and prioritize getting in shape again. I do anything from fixing the fence if an animal gets out to loading firewood to unloading 50-pound feed bags.
I'm going to pause you for a minute.
Okay.
I'm exhausted from trying to do all this shit and get into physical shape. Your physical shape is going to come from your diet.
Yes.
It's literally 90% nutrition. And if you're working on a farm, you don't need to go to the gym.
Yeah, you should be in shape. That's hard labor.
It is. Mm-hmm. And if you manage your macronutrients properly and you're eating real food, give yourself some grace and some patience. You didn't get overweight overnight.
Yeah.
It takes time. Losing it's going to take time.
Right.
Focus on your nutrition and use that gym time that you were doing as self-care for something that's going to make you happy.
Yeah.
For all of you who don't know how to do your macros and don't know how to eat properly, there is a book by someone called Shelby Starnes. And it is I can't think of the name of the book off the top of my head, but it is it's carb cycling. The book is carb cycling something by Shelby Starnes. You might be able to find it as a PDF download. That book will tell you everything that you need on how to eat. It shows you what good carbs are, what bad carbs are, what proteins are, how to figure out your fats. Like if you eat based off of that book, you'll get like crazy in shape. You just got to stick with it. It gets boring, but
Speaking of carbs, I'm going to make mac and cheese for lunch.
yeah,
Unless you want a DoorDash.
we'll see.
Okay. Continuing, when he comes home, I have dinner made, house semi-cleaned. It's lived in, but not filthy. And my checklist that I know he wanted done checked off. If he gets home after the kids are in bed, I greet him at the door with him knowing sexy time is about to happen no matter how tired we are. When he leaves for work, I'm up while he's getting his 2 to 3 hours of sleep before driving, getting his lunches ready, folding his laundry, packing his truck, and cleaning up the house. We are both worn out, both stressed out, trying to make our lives better for our future together. Now why I'm writing this email. There are 3 main reoccurring issues that we keep discussing over and over and somehow aren't resolved.
I like this.
I agree. This
Okay.
is a good layout.
I don't feel like I'm invested in their life right now.
Yeah.
There has not been a single moment where I've been like, I wish she'd just shut up. Like, just get to the fucking point of the
Or like,
email.
this is irrelevant information.
Right.
Right.
Not saying you shut up. I mean the emailer. Right. To be clear. I have an idea of what this person's life looks like right now. And it's not based off of a negativity bias.
Right. It's facts of their life.
Right. You guys are doing the life thing right now and you're struggling. This is the prime email. This is what I live for when we get emails.
Yeah.
Okay.
The reason I believe they aren't resolved yet is because if I bring them up or try to pry further by asking more questions to help clarify his point so I can understand it, he gets defensive or just shuts down. 1, I don't listen. I have heard this for years. This is something he says weekly to me. I have tried to ask for examples because all of my efforts to listen have obviously failed. I have been working on myself for years to try to understand what he means. The most I've gotten out of him on this topic is that I make his work harder by not listening to what he is saying. Example, we were putting up a barbed wire fence and I was putting the T-post clips on to fasten it, and it wasn't even with the other 2 rows. He came over and tried to fix it after I was working on it so that it would get done faster to be able to get other things done. I got defensive and said, if I'm not doing it right, then just do it yourself. I realized right after I said it that was disrespectful and questioning his leadership. It would also his wheelhouse of expertise, so I should have just taken his advice and did it without complaining. I immediately apologized and fixed the fence.
Okay, wait. I want to know what that apology looked like.
I agree.
Because there's difference between going, hey, I shouldn't have done that, and really owning it, right? Like in the event that was something like us and you were to say, hey, look, I shouldn't have talked to you that way. What she said before that is where the real apology is. Hey, I understand that this is your wheelhouse and this is what you do and you're trying to do it right. And I just got snappy because I felt like you were attacking me and not.
Felt like you were correcting me, not showing me.
Right. Like however I felt in that moment, I really should not have conducted myself that way. I apologize. That's a very different thing than I shouldn't have talked to you that way.
Yeah. That's a thing for me.
Yeah.
I have to, that's one of the things that I have put a lot of effort into is not being snappy or like apologizing in the moment. I'm really bad at interrupting still. And apologizing in the moment is still a thing for us. It takes me a second to recognize, right? Because I'm emotional when it happens. It takes me a second to reel myself in, to put the words together, to truly articulate that I recognize I fucked up just now.
The listening and understanding thing, him saying that, this is kind of relevant to us as well. That whole, he says you don't listen, and you're trying to understand. That's what she said. He says you don't listen and I'm trying to understand. Mm-hmm. That's what needs to be stated. You don't listen. I do listen. I hear you. I just don't understand. It does not compute. So you telling me something in a way that doesn't make sense to me is not me not listening. I can't get it. So that's the conversation that needs to be had there. That is 85% of you and I's issue. There is a breakdown somewhere from one of us understanding what is being stated because we're not talking the language that the other person understands. I may totally know what the fuck I'm getting at. And if you don't, it's not a matter of you not listening or not hearing, you just don't understand. So it's no different than talking to the kids. Mm-hmm. You know what that means? Yes. What does it mean? They did not fucking know what it meant. Right? Like there needs to be a real understanding of what's being stated. And that needs to be an honest conversation. When things are happening, there needs to be the repeat back.
Yep.
This is what I heard you say. Especially when he says you don't listen. Well, this is what I heard you say. That's not what I said. Okay, then I need you to convey it differently so that I understand because that way didn't work. Mm-hmm. That fixes the whole you're not listening shit.
Continuing.
Yep.
I immediately apologized and fixed the fence. It wasn't brought up again after that. He doesn't mention it in the moment when these things happen that this is what I mean when I say you don't listen or I feel disrespected when you don't take my advice. He just bottles it up until one day he says you never listened to me. So I never know which situations he is talking about without thinking back to the instance.
Okay, so this is not a specific situation. This is a reoccurring theme of situations. There's no reason for us to have a big fight over something like that, like the fence situation. It got corrected. We're moving on. But there is that infraction there where he told you how to do something and you weren't actually listening or you didn't understand. So the answer to this again is to regurgitate.
Repeat. I mean, regurgitate works.
Repeat what you heard. Make sure the understanding is there so that these things don't happen in the future. He also needs to learn to have a little bit of grace.
Yeah.
Things that come really naturally to you don't come naturally to me and vice versa. Mm-hmm. We have our strengths, like building a fence. You play to his strengths. That's not your forte. It's his.
Right.
You know, you guys lean on each other into your strengths.
Continuing.
Yep.
Number 2, he doesn't compliment me ever. I'm craving that validation from him, but I don't get it. If I do something that isn't up to his standards, he will tell me no problem and correct me, but if I do something right, I don't hear anything about it. I get a thank you occasionally, but never a good job, or I like how you did that, or that looks nice. Okay, so that you're not looking for a compliment, you're looking for praise.
Right. There's a difference.
Those are two different things.
Can we pause on that for a minute?
Yeah.
Sounds like he's a blue collar worker.
Right.
This blue collar worker telling somebody good job for doing their fucking job doesn't exist. If you go above and beyond and do something spectacular, you might get a good job.
Yeah.
But in a working environment, that's not a thing. We're all here to get a job done. We're not here to play games and to do that kind of stuff. Like, that's the difference in mentality between men and women.
Yeah.
On a job site, you're not hearing men tell each other good job and fucking high five each other. You hear them talk shit. We got a fucking weld, right? What happened there? Did you fart? Like,
Yeah.
that's normal. But this is the difference between him being home 6 days a week and being at work 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Because he's not there, right? This is the guy that's gone. Yeah.
6 days a week. Continuing. I'm not saying I need applauded for doing the dishes, but if I clean the garage for him without asking, a simple "that looks great, thanks for doing that, baby," or if I make him his favorite meal or new recipe he sent me for dinner that weekend, a "that was delicious" or a "thank you for thinking of me" would be nice.
Okay, so this is a great conversation having a check-in.
Yeah.
I don't feel appreciated. That's what you need. You don't need to say, I need you to give me more compliments or I need more praise. I don't feel seen. I want to feel seen, right? That's what's really going on here. You don't feel like he appreciates what you're doing.
Right.
I need to feel appreciated. When I go above and beyond, I want you to know that you see my efforts to love you, because you not acknowledging my efforts to love you makes me not want to love you like that. Right? So like, this is a love language. My acts of service to you is doing these things. You not acknowledging them is like rejecting my love. Great conversation to have during a check-in.
Yeah, it is. Continuing, this is probably the biggest one that bothers me, but doesn't bother him. Don't get me wrong, we have a great sex life. The intimacy is there. The passion is there. The lusting, I assume you meant lusting. The lusting after each other is there. The physical part is there 10,000%, but the emotional part I am needing is not. The most intimate thing he says to me is, "I love you." If I ask him or bring up that I need that once in a while, he gets defensive and says, "I'm not good at that stuff," or "that's not my strong suit."
You know why there's a defensiveness there?
I don't know. You had an answer faster than I did, so.
Well, I wanted to see if you had an opinion, but this comes down to a shortcoming. Men don't want to be called on their shortcomings. We view that as a lack of respect, right? Like, you know that we are less than in something. Throw it in our face is not a good situation. If I was not good at telling you all the things that you wanted to hear and you asked for it and I was getting defensive, that defensiveness is because I know that I'm not adequate and I don't know how to fix it.
Right.
So recognize the defensiveness. Ask where that's coming from. Hey, like, I'm not criticizing you. Words of affirmations are the way that I feel loved. Acts of service is the way that I give it. Words of affirmation is how I receive it. You giving me intimate words of affirmations when we're doing the deed would make me feel amazing. Things that you could say would be things like, "I like your butt. You're so beautiful. I love your eyes." Whatever it is that you think you need to hear, you give them 10 or 15 examples and then gentle reminders. Men need to be told. Oh God, I can't believe I must say this. Men need to be told about all of the sexy time, right? We need direction, because a lot of that is foreign to us because we are friction-based creatures.
Right.
There's not a whole lot of emotional aspect that goes into that. So that emotional base isn't a thing. So the more direction we get, the better we're going to perform in all aspects of the bedroom.
Right.
You have to be willing to speak up. We have to be willing to receive that information, and it needs to be in a way that's not combative or making us defensive. And if you see somebody getting defensive in that moment, there's an insecurity there. Find the insecurity, address the insecurity, give examples, yada, 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 yada.
Continuing.
Zach said, this is kind of like when people say they don't know what I like. Like, you can't just say my clit is 2 inches higher. Pitter patter, let's get at her. Pillow talk should be a thing.
Yeah.
You guys, if you were, you know, you have a good sex life when you can tell jokes and laugh during sex and the intimacy doesn't fuck up. Right? Like, that kind of pillow talk is healthy.
Continuing, I'm at a loss. He grew up in a broken home, and I know that's not an excuse, especially since he has overcome so much. I know he can learn this too. I just don't understand why he doesn't want to tell me what he's feeling. He saves all the notes I write him in his lunchbox when he leaves for work. He has pictures on the dashboard of his truck. His phone background is me and the kids. So I know he loves me with everything in him. Why can't he just tell me? I haven't taken the test because I do think... We haven't taken the test. What test? We haven't taken the test because I do think he would do it, but I think his love language is acts of services and physical touch. Definitely not words of affirmation. Mine is words of affirmation and physical touch. He will get me drinks and snacks when he's out that he knows that I like. He loves me in so many other ways, but I'm hung up on the lack of compliments. You have any thoughts?
I mean, I've addressed a lot so far.
Okay.
The love languages matter.
Yeah.
Understanding how to love somebody. If you believe that your acts of service is showing love to somebody and they say they don't feel loved and you're like, I fucking do all these things for you. How do you not feel loved? And now you guys are fighting because they're getting defensive because they don't understand. You don't understand either, right? This is not a him problem. This is a both of you problem. That situation comes down to a communication. Like, I need these things. This is what's going to make me feel loved. Just like you need these things and that's how you feel loved. And like, I know you love me because I see you doing these other things, but that doesn't fill my cup. You're pouring next to my cup. It's not making it in my cup.
Right.
You're almost there. Like, these are the things. Those conversations fucking matter.
All right. And this is the last one, passive aggressive jokes. He jokes a lot. Most of the time, it's not a big deal, but occasionally he will joke about my weight being freshly postpartum. We have both gained weight since I gave birth and since we started working out and dieting together. I never make little digs at him like that. Yeah, we tease each other, but sometimes his jokes feel like an attack. I think they feel this way because I'm reverting compliments. I think they feel this way because I'm reverting compliments ever. I don't understand.
I don't either. It doesn't read right to me. I'm not making excuses for him in saying what I'm about to say. This is blue collar behavior.
It is.
And again, he's not home with you 6 days a week. He's gone 6 days a week. You should get a different side of your man and your woman for that matter than the other people in the world do. But habitual behavior is habitual behavior. So making little digs and like snarky comments is how we show affection. That is normal shit. Sean and I talk shit to each other all the time. Mm-hmm. You have that type of relationship with your bros. Like, that's just a normal thing. It should not carry over to your woman. Most women can't handle joking like that. They're way too sensitive for that shit. And you have to understand that. Joking about somebody's weight in a blue collar environment is normal.
Yeah.
It's like prison yard rules. There's nothing off the fucking table. We can say what the fuck we want to each other. It's not the same in your home. But I would definitely have a conversation about how that makes you feel.
I agree. Continuing?
Yep.
If I was, I don't believe the jokes would have much an effect on me because I wouldn't think he actually feels that way about me. If I say something about it, he says, obviously, I don't think you look fat, or I can't keep my hands off of you, or sometimes it's just a joke. That's it. It goes on to apologize for how long it is. Thank you for the input.
It's a great email. There's no need to apologize for it. Like, everything was...
Yeah, it's very well laid out, very well organized.
Someone in the chat said, blue collar wife here, can't agree. I have to check him at times, though. And sometimes men need that shit.
Right.
Sometimes there's a reminder, like, you can look at your man and be like, hey, look at me real quick. And when he looks at you, be like, I'm not one of your coworkers. I'm not one of your boys. I'm your wife. I would like you to rephrase that. Let them know in the moment that what they just did crossed the line and made you feel a certain way.
I don't let my husband call me bro.
It slips every once in a while. You call me dude. So like...
No, I say bro, dude, and then daddy.
Yeah.
To correct it.
All right.
It happens every single time.
You work through it in that order. Bro, dude, daddy. In that order. Yeah, you're right. I try not to call you bro either.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's just the vernacular. Like, I'm just Gen X. Like the 80s baby. We use terms that don't mean what those terms mean.
That's funny because I started doing that correction because you gave me shit for calling you bro.
I know.
You're my husband. Yeah.
Yep. I actually don't want you to... It's funny now, right? And like, if you just called me bro all the time, I would have a problem with it. I don't want to be your bro. I am your husband. But like, we're having conversations, you're like, bruh.
Yeah.
Like, all right, you got it right. Like, I got it. We had... I had a friend of mine that was a woman who worked in corrections. This is kind of relevant to the email, not really, but kind of. And she had teenage kids. They had 15, 16 years old, and they used to come to the tattoo shop all the time. She was a client, and the kids just would come and hang out because they thought the tattoo shop was cool. And this is going to get vulgar, and I apologize. It's funny
All right.
And it was fucking hysterical when it happened. But as looking back on it, like, that's not how you parent. One of the kids said something really slick to her, like out of the side of the neck. And you could tell that she's a blue collar worker used to working with inmates, but she looked at him and she's like, you better shut your cum catcher, like loud. And the entire studio, like you could tell this was a mom talking to her son. Maybe she called it a cocksock, something along those lines. Like basically told him to shut his dick sucker.
Yeah.
In a tattoo shop full of people in season. There had to have been 30 fucking people in the shop and it was loud. And I looked at her and she looked at me and looked at him and like they all started laughing and I was like super uncomfortable because I knew it was a mom talking to her kid.
Right.
And I was like, oh, you work correction. She's like, yeah. I'm like, that totally makes sense.
That makes sense.
She's like, yeah, it happens. She's like, I don't mean to do it. It just comes out. And I was like, okay, yeah. That,
part of her programming.
Right. This is your normal day-to-day life.
Yeah.
And she's like, the first time it happened, I apologized profusely, but everybody thought it was funny. And now this is just how we talk to each other.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got to adapt to survive in those environments.
Yeah. Yeah. I will never forget that. Jenna said, I worked in the oil field. I have to constantly check myself still because I speak a bit too often. I forget how offensive it can be. It's only offensive to people who don't live in that environment. It's important to recognize that your person is a human being that has a very different lived life experience. And the more that you two live apart, the more that experience differs. Where she's on a homestead in her own little world building their future home, he's out grinding and dealing with a whole ass, society. Mm-hmm. That's going to intermingle and enmesh and have issues. That's normal.
Yeah, it's two very different worlds.
Yep.
So back to that emailer with the passive aggressive jokes, like I would check that shit.
Yeah.
Like you said. I'm your wife, not Jim.
That whole look at me is powerful as fuck. Right? Like you don't do it to me often. You do it to the kids a lot, but you have done that to me.
Yeah.
And like,
it's mostly in a correcting manner.
Right. But even still, like, I know you're correcting me in the moment. I don't take it personal because you're getting my attention. And that's how I view it. I know what you're doing. I'm not dumb. Right. I hear you do it to the kids all the time. And I know you're momming me, but I also know that you're trying to get my undivided attention.
Yeah.
So even though I know I'm about to get in trouble, because that's how I view it.
Okay. Well, now I have to start doing it for other things.
No.
Because I don't want it to be
You don't, because you doing that when you do it is very effective.
Okay.
Because that's basically, you don't have to say, look at me. You can say, I need your undivided attention right now. You can even go like this. I know, right? I know at that point, whatever's about to happen, husband needs to be present in the moment. That's a very powerful thing. Most people don't give people the undivided attention. There's normally this. Okay, I gotcha. Do you have anything else? Because I'm hungry and my back is fucking killing me.
I don't.
Okay. As always, guys, remember you are the author of your own life.
So grab a pen.
And we will see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.